and welcome to Chooks TV. I hope you're back home safely after a good day's work. My name is Chooks Ayako, and this program, The Authentic Business Leader, has its focus to help growth minded individuals and organizations to up their game and improve on their performance. So, tonight, I'll be speaking on a topic that I called Where There Are People. The COVID 19 crisis has so much changed the business landscape. So many businesses weren't operational within the lockdowns. Different nations, different states, and cities are beginning to reopen the economy. And so, one thing that I see from this is the value of human life. That yeah, the leaders in trying to minimize on the casualties, the fatalities, closing down businesses. So, really, to tell us that first of all, there has to be life before there can be business or any other thing. Sort of gets me to think how so easily that businesses forget this basic idea that business is all about people, that business exists to serve people. And I, in thinking about it, I can understand why that happens, and which is what I'll be speaking on today about where there are people, or I could actually subtitle my speech this evening as do you have a service problem or do you have a money problem? I easily could understand personal story, could understand about the service part of life that life is really about being useful to another person, being of help, solving some problems. And I could understand that, I could embrace that. Uh, but then it was some time that I understood the other part about money, about the place and the value of money, that you need money to make things happen. I then found out that I had money problem. I would serve, but I had to get a balance that I also needed to attend to the other part, which is that of money. That you need money to fulfill your dreams. You need money to live your vision. And so it took me a while to learn that lesson that those two have to go together. If you don't have money, up to some point you'll be unable to serve people, unable to serve customers. And so I saw that I didn't have a good philosophy or basis to relate with money. I found it difficult to have to charge people for things that I could do free. I could easily relate with just serving. I would just do that out of a good heart, out of generosity, out of helping somebody who's in need. And so it took me some time to understand that money must be placed at the same level as that of mission. And so which is what I find some people, the problem they have is service. They wouldn't want to do anything for anybody for free. They wouldn't want to serve anybody. Wouldn't want to do anything that they cannot find some immediate material or monetary reward for what they do. That's on one hand. But then on the other side of the continuum are people who they just like to serve, do things, and they almost like look at money as something. If you're not offering them money, they look at it that look, they didn't do what they were doing for money, and they're like, just go. They look at it that giving them money will sort of like dilute or minimize the goodness of their intention of doing it. And so you could see people divided like that, but there is a balance that you need to hold it to at the same level. And so where there are people, there are needs and there are problems to solve. And where there are people, there is money to be made. And so that is a mistake and that is a lie. You should never buy into that. There is no money. There is money always been made at good times, at bad times, in normal situations, and in crisis. There is always money to be made because people will always need food. People will always need to know something. People will always need shelter. People will need transportation. People will need health care. The human needs will always be there. So long as there are human beings on this earth, there will always be money to be made. Where you see people, there you will see money. But the connection, what brings out the money then is a good service. As I prepared for this meeting, a related concept comes to me as to one challenge that people who are just getting into business mostly have is that everything will have to be created. There is no form. So everything in it. So it is one of the differences between working in a paid job and just being in business. The paid job, there is structure, there are things just as they go. There is your job cut out for you. Yeah, okay. There is a supervisor to tell you what to do, but in business, everything completely rests upon you. And it reminds me of a conversation between two persons, and they were asked three persons. So someone was interviewing. They asked the first person, "So what is the risk?" And he said that the risk is being in business. And then he asked the second person, "So what is the risk?" The risk is being in employment. Two perspectives. The first one, that risk is being in business because everything you sell, if you don't sell it, you don't make any money. So that is risky. It's scary to one person. But then the other person, to him, just having a job that you're doing, a paid employment, that is risky because anything happens to that one source of your income, then it hits you. It hits you 100%. This other person has sort of like taken care of his business. So different perspectives. So in business, that's it. You got to create everything responsibility. And so that is what throws some people off balance. That is the scariest thing about business. But then I found a way out of it. The way out of it is that so long as you are taking action, you'll be learning. So long as you're taking action, you'll be doing things and you'll be getting better and better and better and better. One thing will lead to another to another. And so this is where I want to bring this evening's show to a close. But before I close it, I want to let you know I'll be doing a webinar on Thursday. At most by tomorrow, I'll shoot out how you can join that webinar. And I'll be speaking much more in detail on this, plus some other things. I'll be speaking on something around practices and strategies to grow or to start a business during a crisis. During a crisis, practices that work every time, every time, every time. So it's gonna be based on uh, research that I've done. Most people have indicated that they will prefer the medium to be WhatsApp. So most likely, that is the platform that we'll be using for the webinar sometime in the day or evening on Thursday this week. So good night and God bless.